Hey guys, Mr. T here, just quickly redoing that video that I tried to record today in class, but forgot to turn the mic on. So the lesson was about yield. We already spoke about yield as a column in your share listings, but that's all it was. Now that we understand dividends better, we can actually go into yield a bit more and see the usefulness of what yield is about. So the yield is the income you get from dividends, expressed as a percentage of the cost of buying the shares in the first place that are giving you those dividends. There's two different ways to calculate the yield, the exact and the approximate yield. Now, because this is a makeup lesson, and you can put it on YouTube, I won't be sitting here doing the writing time. You can pause that in the YouTube video. So what is the exact yield? This compares the total yearly income from your dividends to the total cost of buying the shares in the first place. It takes longer because you need to calculate the dividends paid, which is a calculation we did a couple of lessons ago, and the cost of buying, which we did right at the start of the topic. And then the results of the dividends paid and the cost of buying calculations you put into this formula to find the exact yield. It's the annual dividends paid divided by the cost of buying the shares in brackets, and then you times it by 100%. That's to find the exact yield. Now, the approximate yield, this is the yield figure that you actually saw in the share listings from the earlier lesson. It simply compares the dividend per share to the current value of the shares as a percentage. So you're not doing a cost of buying, you're just comparing to the current value of the shares. So this is only approximate because you're not factoring in the brokerage and GST like you did before. You're not finding the cost of buying the shares, you're just comparing it to the price. So what you'll tend to find is this approximate yield is slightly bigger because it's not accounting for the fee of brokerage and GST. So the approximate yield is just the dividend per share divided by the current value of the share, and then you times that all by 100%. So pause if you need to get these formula down. Let's get into the example real quick. So an investor purchased 7,500 Origin shares, that's important, for $2.92 each. Brokerage was 2%, GST is 10%. A year later, Origin pays a dividend of 9 cents per share. Calculate the exact yield on this investment. So exact yield. So this is A, exact yield equals annual divs paid divided by the cost of buying, and all times by 100%. So why am I rewriting that? Because I need to indicate that I need to find the annual divs paid. Divs paid equals, you had 7,500 Origin shares that are each paying you 9 cents, so 0.09. 7,500 times by 0.09, $675 for the divs paid. Cost to buy, well, we need to do a buying calculation. Buying, consideration, brokerage, GST. We're adding those things. Consideration is 7,500 shares purchased at $2.92 each. 7,500 times by 2.92, 21,900. Consideration, brokerage is 2%, so it's 0.02 times by 21,900 is 438. And GST is 10%, 0.1 times by 438, which gives you $43.80. So total is 0, 8, 8, 11, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2, 2, $22,381.80. So now I can find the exact yield. Exact yield equals annual divs paid, $675, divided by $22,381.80, times that by 100%. 675 divided by 22,381.8, times that by 100, 3.02%, rounded to 2 decimal points. Yield. So what is that saying? In basic terms, that's telling you that that $675 in dividends paid that I got in that year represents 3.02% of what I paid for the shares in the first place. Okay, so it gives you an idea of how long it would take of getting those same dividends every year. How long would it take to pay back your investment just in dividends only? That's not even selling them. It's just for dividend payments. So it'll take a while, but it's possible. 3.3% is not bad. Lastly, B, the approx yield. Approx yield. I'll move that down. Approx yield's easy because it's only two things. We don't need to do any extra calculations. Div per share divided by current value of the share. So div per, I don't need to write that. I'll just write the dividend per share in 0.09. Dividend per share divided by the current price, $2.92, times by 100%. Calculator, 0.09 divided by 2.92 times by 100 comes to 3.08. Rounded to 2 decimal points. Why is it higher? Because this $2.92 is the straight up price per share. You're not doing a buy calculation to remove fees of brokerage and GST. So this is giving you a false and slightly larger impression of the return that you're getting. And you can see that from here. It's 3.08% versus the 3.02 that the exact yield really is. All right. So hopefully that helps you out, and see you in the next video.